Students for Trump founder arrested. Why? Allegedly striking girlfriend with a gun. Where I'm from, don't they? It's like pistol whipping. I think that's what it's called. 27-year-old Ryan Fournier, the co-founder of Students for Trump, a supporters group formed ahead of the 2016 election, was arrested last week on domestic violence charges in North Carolina, where documents obtained by Axios show. The details per The Guardian. Fournier, detained last Tuesday, accused of assaulting a woman, later identified as his girlfriend, by grabbing her right arm and striking her in the forehead with a handgun, according to an order issued by a magistrate in Johnston County. Fournier was charged with domestic assault on a female and assault with a deadly weapon. The victim suffered a minor injury, according to police. Fournier was released on a $2,500 bond, scheduled to appear in court December 18. Again, The Guardian with the details. Per the Huffington Post, he has so far not commented on the charges he faces, but has continued posting other content on X, where he has 1 million followers. One of his latest posts claims Trump will easily defeat former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, has been rising in the polls in her own state. The Guardian, other reports note, Fournier, who still leads the Trump supporters group, also runs Radical Alert, which says it exposes radicals' hate that has taken over American college campuses. It's according to the Twitter, now X bio, counting, again, 1 million followers. Ahead of 2016, the election, Fournier led a national effort to get out the vote for Donald Trump while still a student at Campbell University in North Carolina. He had co-founded the group via a Twitter account in 2015 before being asked by the Trump campaign to create a larger coalition, at which point he asked a friend, John Lambre, to help. Look at these two and go to it. Ah, goodness. 2021, Lambre on the left, arrested, later sentenced to 13 months in prison for posing as a lawyer in a fraud scheme. At one point, the group had more than 250 chapters, 5,000 volunteers nationwide, according to a count on a now archived website, The Guardian, filling in the details. This is a prickly pear, Wosny, as I look at this stuff, but it's the violence that's detailed here. And I don't know who this cat is really, what's really going on with this person, but grabbing her right arm, striking her in the forehead with a handgun. It's like that movie Pulp Fiction. What kind of scene are you acting out, brother? And is this, you're a leader, Students for Trump, and no comment, no denouncing it, nada. What do you say, Wilson?
If these allegations are true, this is an extremely disturbing and vile act that this young man perpetrated upon his girlfriend. That's serious business. And I would hope that he's prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law if these allegations are proven to be true. Now, heading up the Students for Trump campaign, I just find that to be a bit laughable because let's face it, younger people tend to be the least right-wing cohort in the country, right? As far as by percentages. I mean, of course, if we take out Black people, we the least right wing of anybody, Black people as a whole. But after us, it's young people essentially. And so I would imagine he couldn't have been that popular amongst his peers because, nobody really thinks Donald Trump and the right wing conservative movement is like really cool and something to be enthusiastic about being a part of. So it takes, I think, a certain type of person to want to do something this unpopular and this like corny amongst your own cohort. I just hope that if he did do this stuff, some measure of justice is served to him and that the young lady can move on with her life in a better light. Because you don't want to be with a guy who's going to pistol whip you. That goes without saying.
Violence is violence. It has no political affiliation. It's right, left, Black, white. Violence is violence. I am struck, though, because, in looking through some of the show notes, we're in a culture of violence. And I'm thinking, January 6th, Donald Trump, it's all by design. Keep them apart. Keep them duking it out. But I often then backtrack, like, moonwalk back. And I say, we maybe shouldn't even be mentioning this other guy, 45. I want to highlight the people who don't step in, regular, everyday people who say, yo, you can't be our leader, bruh. Nah, man, can't be our leader no more. Not behaving like this. And I would think, perhaps before 2016, even in MAGA world, someone would step up and say, you got to go. Okay. I'm the new make America great again propagandist. You're not. You've lost the right to do your propaganda because you pistol whooped this young lady. Am I now being the one who's way too positive, who's way too out there thinking that someone will step up and say, give us back our student for Trump leadership position? You're fired.
Again, I think the people who would be down with this organization are probably some of the most strident and ardent Trump supporters out there. So I find it hard to believe that they're going to find some level of, temperance in their support. They're going to be, sort of foaming at the mouth, right wing, fringe type of people, no matter what. And so I'm not going to hold my breath on these guys who voluntarily ostracize themselves amongst their peers by being this level of nut job. So no, I don't see it happening. Not for this group. There might be, the sort of, I guess you would call it modal Republican voter who's like, you know what, like whatever. I'm not really into Joe Biden. So I went the Trump route, but I'm not, I'm not getting Trump tattoos. I don't have truck nuts on my, pickup truck. But so I'm willing to hear other people out. I think these students for Trump are some of the most, out there groups that support the former president.
I think you're right. And they just stick together, okay? Until indictments start flying and they can't pay their legal bills. And then all of a sudden they start singing like birds. And the one lady,
Snitching.
who was the McCracken? I'm going to bring the Kraken lady. She couldn't wait to be like, right there, right there, right there, right there. And that's usually what happens, okay? Maybe we're not brothers in hate and bigotry. Maybe I have bills to pay and I don't want to lose my law degree, so I'll tell. Who knows?